Welcome to the Pop Culture Gamers podcast. My name's Hayden and today we're going to be looking at the Steam Deck. So the Steam Deck is now getting to more people as the Valve Corporation has stepped up its production, and in this video we've got 5 tips for new users. Tip number 5. Turn off adaptive brightness. Battery life is really important for the Steam Deck. With some AAA games depleting the battery in as quickly as an hour and a half, you really want to maximise the amount of time that you have to play on your console. A quick and simple battery saver is to turn off adaptive brightness. Adaptive brightness is activated by default and makes the screen brighter or darker depending upon ambient light. It doesn't really do it very well, and to be honest is pretty unnecessary. The screen is already quite bright and you can manually adjust this very easily. To switch off adaptive brightness, simply go to your Steam button and then scroll down to settings, and from settings go to display, go across, and then you can toggle adaptive brightness either on or off. I already had mine off. You can also here change the brightness of the screen using the slider and set it to how you want. I normally have mine around about halfway. It's generally okay for normal indoor use. When you're happy, you can just press B to back to the main screen. As another top tip, if you want to change your brightness settings on the fly, you can hold down the Steam button and push up or pull down to change the brightness. Tip number 4. Access the Steam Deck shortcut list. There are loads of different shortcuts on the Steam Deck and it can be really hard to remember what they all are. Shortcuts are used from various things such as taking a screenshot, increasing or decreasing the brightness of the screen, or even aborting a program that has failed to load properly. To find a shortcut, all you need to do is hold down the Steam button for about a second and a menu will appear which shows all of the shortcuts that are available to you. This also works if you hold down the ... button on the opposite side. Tip number 3. Load into desktop mode. The Steam Deck uses a similar UI to Big Picture mode on the PC. This is to display your games and for you to access the store. Behind this is a full desktop with a browser and the ability to install some key software for expanding your Steam Deck's functionality and capabilities. To go to desktop mode, all you need to do is hold down the power button and wait for the menu to appear, and then scroll down and choose switch to desktop mode. The other way to access desktop mode is to press the Steam button, scroll down to power, and then from there choose desktop mode. The SteamOS interface will close and the Steam Deck will boot into KDE Plasma Desktop, which lets you use a device like a Linux computer. When you're ready, you can then go back to this icon in the top left hand corner of the screen and then double click on the right trackpad, and after a few seconds your computer will boot back onto the home screen. Tip number 2. Accessing the on-screen keyboard. Some games will require a keyboard input of some description. To access the on-screen keyboard is really easy. All you need to do is hold down the Steam key and press X, and then the keyboard will appear. You can then use this either by touchscreen or by using the left stick and the A button to select the letters that you want. When you've finished your input, you can either normally press enter and then it will either close, or if it doesn't close, you can just click on the button in the bottom right hand corner and then it will disappear. Tip number 1, don't be put off by games not showing in your Great on Deck list. It may be tempting to stick to games which just shows playable on the Steam Deck because they've been verified. Valve, in reviewing the titles, have different markers to show if a game works on the Steam Deck or not. There are 4 levels: verified, playable, unsupported and unknown. Verified games are represented by a green tick. The yellow exclamation mark shows a game is playable and it has been verified, but there are some things that you may need to do to be able to play the game. A circle with a line through says that the game is currently not supported and you generally want to avoid these games on the Steam Deck. Or if there's a question mark with a dotted circle around it, that is showing that the game hasn't been officially tested or verified. You can filter your Steam Deck's games that will work on your console very easily in your library. Simply press Steam, go down to Library, press A, and by default it will go to your Great on Deck list. This is all of the games that have been verified by Valve. If we go onto the full library, I currently have this filter to show verified and playable games. If I press X, I can also extend that to show games that are either supported or not tested on the Steam Deck, or again, just the same as the other list, show all those games that are only verified. I generally have this on verified and playable. In terms of a playable game, if we scroll down the list, say for example this one here, 7 Days to Die, if I select that and then I go to the game information and then I choose details, it tells me what the issue is for playing this game and tells me also that everything else works fine. This is a really easy way of seeing how much difficulty you will have to be able to play a game. Just because the Steam Deck identifies that a game is unsupported or not tested doesn't necessarily mean that it won't work on your Steam Deck. For example, if I go to my installed games on here and I scroll down to Planet Alpha, this game we can see by going to the game details is not a game that is supported and has failed the Steam Deck compatibility. However, what I can do with this game is play it because I've messed around with a number of bits of the settings and actually found a way to get the game to work. So don't be put off. Just because a game says it's unsupported doesn't mean it won't play. And as you can see, the game is running absolutely fine with no problems at all. So I hope you've really enjoyed this video. You could really help us out by liking and subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to come back for more Steam Deck tips and our podcast and various other things in the future. Thanks for watching and bye bye now.